The youngest sibling. Doesn't even matter if we're talking about a boy or a girl. The baby in the family is notorious for getting certain privileges that the older sisters and bros just don't get. Whether it's that they get their own room first, never get called on anything, or just benefiting from mom and dad getting soft. The little one has a reputation for causing trouble, getting away with it, and reveling in their privilege. What's odd is that there's one little sister that doesn't even know about this special power. And she's an orange Australian dog. Rise up, GG Nation, because it's time for Guidance Guide Friday, your digital guidance lesson from your internet school counselor. Join me as we look into the surprisingly dark existence of one Bingo healer. Let's go! It's guidance time.
Bluey, you're taking all the time freezing. Come on, Bingo. Let's get the teddies. Okay.
It's wild how just unaware Bingo is of her own power. And one major thing standing in her way of going full Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is the fact that in the healer family, she's the quiet one. When we look at the 4 members of this doggy family, they fall into 2 categories. You're either the bandit type or the chilly type. If you're the bandit type, you're loud, you're energetic, and you don't care who knows. This is a dog man who's willing to do a one-man flash mob in public and subject himself to all manner of insane activities for the sake of his children, including marrying his own brother. Hey, yo! And naturally, one of these 2 is gonna take on old man bandit's attitude. And you already know the one who got his crazy DNA. She's wild, she's adventurous, and she's bold, just like her old man. And on the other end, we got the chilly type. Now, Chi-Chi has the ability to go nuts like the rest of them.
You wanna get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
She also has a calmer side. She's the one that the girls go to when playtime gets a little too out of control. She'll also be there to bring back the more rambunctious bandit types with the most dangerous side-eye you've ever seen.
Bombastic side-eye.
And this is where Bingo comes in. She's already more reserved than her older sister and dad, and even compared to her mom, Little B is even more reserved than her. This makes Bingo a bit on the shy side. She can be a little afraid to speak up, and standing on business can be tough for her. And I need to say this now before the comments go crazy, or you can comment anyway. I ain't gatekeeping engagement. Bingo's situation is not that rare. You may be thinking that Bingo being who she is isn't realistic because of how her family is, or even how she might act sometimes. And to counter your point, I got this. What about Luigi and Mario, Mufasa and Scar, Nani and Lilo, Anna and Elsa? These are siblings where one is super outgoing and can talk to anyone, and the other is less so. Doesn't make one good and the other bad, unless we're talking about their character choices. Scar knows what he did. Besides, when your older sister is Bluey, that's a hard act to follow, because your only choices at that point is to either balance her out and become the chill alternative, or you try to match her energy and go full muffin. And trust, no one should go full muffin. Having a more relaxed and less talky demeanor is 100% okay. There's nothing wrong with that. What tends to happen is that when quiet people are in a house, classroom, or team that has a bunch of bandit types in it, the chilly types tend to either go full muffin and become a tryhard just to fit in, or they fade into the background, leaving them ignored and overlooked.
Bluey, you were meant to catch me. Ah! Quick, Bluey, run away!
Bingo truly is the polar opposite of her destiny as the baby in the family. If you're the youngest or the older sibling, you know I'm telling facts. If baby wants the attention, they can command it like an airbender. If they don't want to get called out for something they did, they just blame the older. After all, they're supposed to be the responsible one. And how about the absolutely diabolical youngsters who will straight up make up junk and then blame their elders? Just, what is wrong with some of you? What? I'm not working through any issues in this video? Get out of here. Little B isn't any of those things. Instead, she's content to go along with Bluey's adventures and antics, even when she doesn't want to. Like in Magic Xylophone, where Bluey just will not share the magical instrument with her sister. Even though Bingo wants a turn with the all-powerful Xylo, Bluey just ignores her wishes and keeps hogging the game for herself. Or how about in dance mode? Bingo has 3 chances to force dance mode on anybody. Instead, what ends up happening is that the rest of the family ends up stealing her turns from her, including Mommy Chili. And maybe this is you. Perhaps you're not the most outgoing person. You might be more relaxed, quiet, or even shy. And because of that, people tend to ask a lot of you. Maybe they expect you to give in a way that they don't expect from others. Perhaps you're the one that people always ask for money because they know you'll never say no. And if that's you, pro tip, stop doing that. You know they ain't gonna pay you back. You may feel like people take advantage of you, like you constantly have the world on your shoulders, like you're being treated unfairly, and it doesn't matter what your situation is. If you feel that, then you and Bingo have a lot in common. And you might even be wondering why. Why am I like this? And while your individual reason may be more than what we have time to go over right now, it may come down to a couple of factors. Do you like helping people? Or how about making sure that those around you don't feel sad? Do you get a kick out of knowing that you made someone smile because of something that you said or did? Are you okay with not being the leader and letting someone else take charge? If you connected with anything I just said, you understand Bingo. Someone watching dance mode might say, why is she upset? Just say no and use your turn. Well, while true, Bingo might respond with that with, well, everyone was having a good time and I didn't want to ruin it. Or, I didn't want to rock the boat. I was fine with it, even when she wasn't. This is what's so great about the characters in Bluey. Despite being dogs, they are all so real. Because looking at Bingo, yes, she's only 5 and doesn't fully understand her feelings, but what we see with her is what happens when we hold our feelings back. Every time Bingo lets Bluey do whatever she wants or allows everyone to ignore her wishes, despite how it looks in the moment, it bothers Bingo a lot. How do I know? Think about every time that Bingo has cried in an episode of Bluey. If she's not physically hurt, typically she tears up when she's had enough. Enough of being ignored, enough of not being listened to, enough of not having her needs heard. When talking to students, I like to use this example. When we hold in our emotions and don't let them out, it's like shaking a soda bottle. And when you open that bottle, what happens? Soda everywhere. A similar thing happens when we try to ignore our feelings. It doesn't matter if it's annoyance, disappointment, or sadness. When we don't allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling, that feeling gets built up inside of us. And eventually it will come out. For some, it shows up in a fit of rage. Others might get super anxious and panicky. And for our girl Bingo, the feelings come out in tears as she just can't hold them in any longer. Bingo shows us what happens to those who don't speak their minds, say what they're feeling, and just let things happen to them. They get taken advantage of, ignored, and worst of all, they blame themselves for it. Now let's say you feel this way. What if I told you there was a way out of this spiral?
Unfreeze. Thanks, Bingo. Dad's gone to get the hose. So let's go and hide. Bluey, you always never take turns with me.
Like I said at the top, Bingo has incredible power as the youngest born. The problem is that she doesn't use it because she's not aware of it. And maybe it's the same for you. There's so much you can do, so much that you could be, if only you didn't allow others to run the show of your life. So how do we get out of that habit? First, you gotta own your feelings. If you're mad, admit it to yourself. If you wanna cry, then do it. If you legit don't know what to do, don't front or just let the loudest person in the room make all the choices. All of your emotions are legit because they are yours. To pretend they aren't there, to deny them, is ultimately denying yourself. Just like how everyone else gets to feel, you have that same permission. Of course, do so in a way that's safe for you and those around you. Just make sure you don't shake that emotional bottle. Next, know what you want. There are so many times in Bluey where Bingo will just go with the flow and act like she doesn't have an opinion, when in reality she just believes no one wants to hear hers. When you know what you're feeling, it's easier to know what you want. What if the reason you can't make a choice is because you're afraid of what someone else will say? What if the reason you don't speak your mind is because you're afraid of what others will think of it? If so, then stick with me here. When you understand your emotions, it's easier for you to make the choices that you want to make. Not the ones that others want you to make, not the ones that you think people want you to make. Just your own self. And lastly, and this is the hardest part, you gotta stand on business. Every time Bingo stands up for herself, she states clearly what she wants. And even if she gets pushback, she always stands her ground. Doing this is the most difficult one to pull off, and it's also the most satisfying when you finally do. Next time you want to speak your mind, use an I statement. An example would be, I felt disrespected when you ignored me. Or, I felt annoyed when you took my turn. Don't get personal, don't get into insults, just stick to how you feel and what the other person did. And Bingo does this whenever she taps into her power. Not her youngest sibling power, but her inner power. And that inner power can help you put words to your feelings, force behind your voice, and potentially, the ability to change your life. Families are like their own little worlds. They have their own traditions, rules. It's pretty much its own culture unique to everyone who resides in it. And one place that can become a family on its own is none other than the classroom. Want to see how your classmates can look like something out of the Fast and Furious movies? Come check out this video on the Fantastic Four to find out more. See you there! Guidance Guy out.